Hello ladies and welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't been posting for quite a while, even though I promised you at least one video. And well, that's entirely my fault, but I've been absolutely busy with both my my full-time job, which is supposed to be part-time, but you know, I'm doing extra shifts at the time, and also with my other activity, which is building instruments, which is going to be hopefully soon enough main activity and main source of revenue, if you wish. And that's something you might find interesting, because I'm going to expand. I started with tagle harpas and lyres for one simple reason. Basically, I wanted to play them and I didn't want to spend lots of money to buy an instrument. I didn't know if I actually wanted to play for a longer time. I have to say, in fact, that even though I love the tagle harpa, it's not going to be my main instrument anytime soon, for a number of reasons. I'm not going into detail about that, not right now. So I'm actually going to expand my line of instruments to, well, say other stuff. And of course, as you might imagine, my dream is to be able one day to build Hurdy Gurdies as well, but that's not for today or tomorrow for sure. It's somewhere I would like to be one day or another in the future. But at the very least, I promised you a video, so I actually recorded the second part of the beginner Gurdies video twice, and once it didn't work because of the camera. The second time there were background noises that made it honestly quite bad to listen to. So eventually I'm shooting that again, but it's going to be like very short. What I wanted to say with my second video, and as I said, there is going to be a third one, but my second video was about music, and the points I was going to make were basically these. First of all, before starting any instrument, Hurdy Gurdy, yes, but any other instrument as well, you have to take into account one thing, that you're going to make sacrifices. More specifically, you're going to sacrifice your time, and you're going to put a lot of effort in it, and thirdly, you're going to sacrifice money. The time, well, you need time to play, to rehearse, to learn, you need time to study the notes if you're not really familiar with sheet music and harmony and melody, etc. You're going to take time to do anything in music. You're going to put a lot of effort, because music is not effortless. There is this myth that you just need to have talent and passion and then you're going to get very famous. I don't think that's the case. I mean, there are very few people in the world, in the history of music, who are incredibly talented so much that they didn't really need more than a couple of lessons and they learned their way through music. But seriously, I think there are a couple of them in the history of music. So I'm sorry to tell you that, but you're probably not going to be one of those happy fews. And you're also going to spend money in order to play, either to buy instruments, to pay for lessons, to buy books, changing strings. I had a concert a month ago, and a string broke, and since I use expensive cello strings, I had to pay like 30 euros just for the new strings. Another point I wanted to make is, well, more technically, that about the specifics. Many people ask me, what do I need in my Hurdy Gurdy? Do I need 5 strings, what tuning, whatever. But the tuning mostly depends on your repertoire. If you don't know what you're going to play, or if you're going to play traditional Hurdy Gurdy music, any Hurdy Gurdy in G with one trumpet and one bourdon, it's fine for you. You don't really need anything else. Of course, any other thing is fine, it's cool, whatever, but the more strings you have, the more strings you're going to cotton, to rosin, to change, to tune, etc, etc. So go for the simple stuff. Of course, if you're going to play mostly a classical repertoire or a very varied repertoire with different tunings, then you might want, for example, a keyboard with more keys, so a tenor hurdy-gurdy, so to speak, and possibly more strings to change the pitch in real time. So you plug in your G string and you plug off your D string or whatever, so you change tuning quite easily with more than one bourdon and trumpet. But that depends on what you're going to play. A last point I wanted to make is, and a question I get asked very often, is how hard it is to learn the hurdy-gurdy. Well, honestly, not that much. I mean, it is going to take your time, your effort, but it's not going to take all of your life. I think there are other instruments which are more difficult, such as the piano or the violin, for example, just to name a couple of them. If you already know how to play on a keyboard, the keyboard part of the hurdy-gurdy is going to be quite easy. The hard part is then the trumpet technique, because that is something you can only learn on a hurdy-gurdy, so it's not something you can transpose from another instrument. And however, playing the trumpet is not easy, but if you're just going to keep the beat and you're playing most of your songs in 4/4, like everyone in the world, that's not going to be hard at all. The hard part is to get all those complex, like 7/8 with 3/4 and 4/4 on a sequence, plus blah blah blah, the couple, the 2400,000. That stuff is complicated, but do you really need that? I mean, you're playing a melodic instrument whose main purpose is to play tunes, right? The melody. You're not playing drums. And if you're going to play the hurdy-gurdy inside with a band, there probably is going to be someone else playing the rhythm, giving the pace, the right pace, the music, some drummer or whatever. So the trumpet is not going to be that important within the general sound of the band. So those are the main points I wanted to make. Of course, there will be much more to tell, but at least I managed to do this video for the third time, and possibly this one is the right one. See you soon and with more instruments.